For this week's video, we've got something a little bit different. I've got Derek, one of our team members, and we're gonna talk a little bit more deeply about prototyping. So Derek, in a previous video, I talked a little bit about how we use prototyping and how it doesn't have to just be software stuff, but how you can use it for products and services that are out there as well.
Yeah, we think prototyping is super beneficial for whatever project you're working on. It's going to do a few really big things for you. It's going to help you save time. But what I love about it, it's going to help you really get to the base of your idea. And it's going to help your marketing team figure out, is this something that we can market? Is this something that we can advertise? It's going to help your design team be thinking about styles and how the user is going to interact with this. So prototyping is going to be super beneficial no matter what you're building.
Right. So I thought that just kind of showing some examples would help people understand the way that we use prototyping.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, all right. So first, I'll kind of set up what the problem was. So we had a customer come to us. This has been a couple of years ago, but they had a really cool idea. They wanted to do something similar to the way that Lyft and Uber work, but they wanted it to be for all electric vehicles. Their hypothesis was that if people are given the choice of being able to ride in a vehicle that doesn't hurt the environment, then they'd be willing to pay at least as much money, if not more, for that experience. So they came to us and said, hey, we want you to build us an app that is going to do this. And we said, well, we can do that, but it's going to be really expensive because we have to build an app for the driver. We also have to build an app for the person that's going to be using the phone, then it's going to be using the ride. And so it's just going to be kind of expensive. And so instead what we did was we said, let's run an experiment. Let's do a prototype first and see how this works. And so what we did is we used an application that makes clickable prototypes. And so on the phone here, we have laid out the name of their company we didn't want to reveal yet in case this all kind of went south, right? So we just came up with a name, Catch a Ride, and we determined that we were going to run an experiment at Vanderbilt. The guys were from Nashville. Run an experiment during graduation week. There's a whole lot of people that are there that are needing to get from the Vanderbilt campus to places downtown. So we established just a few different places that they could get from point A to point B, and then we advertised it and then used this clickable prototype to simulate the experience, right? So come on here and then they click on Vanderbilt. They have that option. Here, this is super low fidelity. What we did is we created a clickable prototype, and you can see that when I'm clicking on an area where I can't do anything, it's kind of leading me down the garden path. So it's saying, hey, this is Vandy location number 3, moves me on to the next step that's here. Here's where I want to be dropped off. And then we were also kind of testing a little bit of pricing, Nissan Leaf for $8 or a Tesla Model S for $10. So that's the option that we went with. We were able to then put this app, it's really not even an app, right? We were able to put this prototype in front of real people, make sure that the process of how you would use this makes sense to them. And then ultimately we built a really simple version of this where people could send a text to the driver. It ended up being kind of complicated, but way less complicated. And what they realized was that they were a little early. So they ended up pivoting their model. They opened it up in Santa Fe. It was more of a car livery service, and it worked out there. And so they didn't waste time or energy building something that ultimately wasn't going to be used.
Yeah, this prototype helped them, one, save a ton of money, because our team could have started building this app and putting in all the development work and getting our whole team on board, only to realize a month or 2 months down the road that not only have they sunk their time and energy, but a good amount of money paying for a premium development service for the app to not even work. And so this was really beneficial. And what I love, again, my role being more of the copywriting, as they're testing this, their users will give them the exact language that they need to market their app. And so as they're testing this and asking, does this do what you expect it to do? Did it turn out the way you wanted it to work? They're going to say, this is fantastic. I really love being able to think about the environment or having this option. And then that just gives me the exact words I'm going to use when we actually launch this product into the market.
Okay, Derek, I've got a crazy idea.
Yeah?
What if we just throw each other ideas that might be something like people that are watching this video would do, and then try to come up with a way to prototype that idea?
Okay, I like that.
All right. So one would be, let's say that you were wanting to write a book. That takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
How would you prototype that?
If I was going to prototype a book, I would maybe start off with just a series of emails and put that out to my audience and see if there's any interest, any engagement.
Love it.
Maybe another idea, A lot of our business owners are people who are experimenting with marketing. They're going to events. How would you maybe prototype, having a booth set up at an event?
Okay, yeah. So you could use lower fidelity stuff, like maybe you just use a dry erase marker board and you write out what you think the wording is going to be.
Yeah.
And then you actually set it up on a table and you get people that are your friends or colleagues or maybe even customers that are coming by to come by, look at this, and then ask questions of, do you understand what we do? How likely would you be to want to stop at this booth? What would be here? What do we not have here that you wish was here, to get you to stop and ask questions?
Yeah.
That might be a way to prototype.
Yeah.
All right. And one more. So let's say that you are a landscaping company, and you think that you could start a whole another division of just pressure washing, but that would be a lot of startup cost in doing that. How do you prototype?
If you're going to add a new service, maybe a way to prototype that is, before you develop a new brand, just maybe add it as an add-on service. And so after we mow your yard and do all your landscaping and help all your flower beds look better, we're going to offer an add-on service of we'll also wash your house. They can see how that goes. For this week's experiment, we want you to find one other person in your organization and think through a project that you've worked on in the last 6 months, or maybe an idea that you have for something in the next 6 months, and brainstorm how you could prototype it. And so think of something that you could build really quickly that you could test and see if your idea can stand on its own. And maybe a next step, send us your idea. Challenge us with how would we prototype your idea. And as always, ask us any questions that you may have.
Derek is here with me.
Hey, I'm Derek. I just let you run with it.